Merhaba! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Camille and I teach English. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I do when I start to learn a new language. So I have successfully learned and continue to study, I continue to maintain, I should say, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, and French. And 2 weeks ago, I started to learn Turkish, which is completely different than all of the Latin languages that I've previously learned. So I wanted to share with you what I do, how I prepare to learn a new language, and give you some of my favorite free resources and apps and things like that. So let's get started. So when learning a language, it's so important to be able to identify the reason. Why are you learning a language? I always tell people that because motivation comes and goes. Some days you might be super stoked to learn a new language, and then maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months later, you're like, I don't really want to do this anymore. So I always encourage my students to find their motivation. So why? And if you can identify why, that will help you later on when the times get a little bit challenging, when you want to give up. I've been there. So for me, my why with Turkish is 1, I am a polyglot and I have a life goal to learn 10 languages. And so I'm halfway there. I speak 5 languages, including English. And so Turkish is my 6th language. And 2 new cultures. I love to learn about new cultures. I have quite a few Turkish friends and followers on my Instagram. And so I thought it would be really cool to be able to connect to them in their native language. And then 3, my family's going to be traveling to Turkey for at least a few months next year. And so that is a reason why I want to be able to communicate with people in Turkey and not have to use English a lot if I can help it. So those are my reasons. What am I doing? How did I get started? I want to just briefly touch on mindset when learning a language. I think it's super important to go in with a positive mindset, a victory mindset, I can do this type mindset. Positivity is so important. Everything starts in our mind. And if we're having positive thoughts, if we're going in believing that we can get there, then I think we will be able to get there. But if we have these thoughts like, oh, I can't do it, this is too hard, and if that is constantly running through our mind, it's going to be like we are fighting constantly, So positive mindset, super important. Okay, so we talked about our why, we talked about our mindset. I mentioned motivation can come and go. So discipline is super important. Just knowing every day this language is going to be a part of my life. So I encourage you to study the language you're learning throughout the day. I try to include Turkish when I'm on a walk in the morning, or watching a series in the evening, or listening to a podcast in the afternoon. Just as much contact as you can with the language is super important, and it will help you to learn it quicker. People always ask, how long do I need? And you can't say one number. It depends. Are you studying only 5 minutes a day? You're gonna need many years. Are you studying 2 hours a day? You'll learn a lot quicker. So I say just include it in your lifestyle, make it a part of your world. And where do I start? So I usually start with the apps Duolingo. You can't use this as the only app, and it does have some weird sentences, but overall, I think it's a great app because it includes speaking, listening, reading. So all of those things are involved, and then you get to see structure, basic structure sentence, and learn vocabulary, and then it's very repetitive. So the repetition helps. So I always do Duolingo. I think I have like over a 1,500 day streak on there, and I will probably continue to use that app for a long time. I've used Buzu in the past, last with French, but they don't have Turkish that I'm aware of. But I did find this app, Mango Languages, and there are 27 hours of Turkish, and so I have been listening to that. What I like about it is you listen in English, they teach you Turkish from English, which helps me since I don't know anything, and they come back a lot. So they give you space and they'll be like, how do you say this? And then I have to think, and then I'm like, oh yeah. And then in each lesson, they kind of refer to previous lessons. So it helps to really test my knowledge. So I plan to do all of this in Turkish, this whole program. And I also love Pimsleur. I think Pimsleur Turkish just has maybe one level. I've used Pimsleur in the past for Italian and French. And I found that free on my library app called Libby. So it connects to my library app, and it as well is a listening speaking app that starts at the basics and then progresses. So that's also a great app. And then YouTube, I watch a lot of YouTube when I'm beginning to learn a language, and even through the intermediate level, I always continue to just increase my knowledge through different videos. Maybe I start out with teaching channels, and then when I get at least maybe a B1, I move to Turkish channels or French channels where they're natives and they're sharing about subjects that are interesting to me. So YouTube is a great resource as well. And then I don't start out speaking to natives because I don't feel like I'm ready. So I start out at least the first couple of months self-study on my own. With these apps, I write a lot of things down in my notebook as well. So I'm constantly writing down even the same phrases because everything is new, and sometimes I just need to write them down many times before they are in my head and until I remember them. So writing things down, and then, later on, once I feel like I'm ready to start speaking to natives, which is a key. It's a key to learning the language, connecting with native speakers. Then I mostly go on the apps Hello Talk and Tandem. So in the beginning, anything that is interesting to you, beginner level, that you can get your hands on either through, I think it's so important to have the audio, and then if you can have the words as well, it really helps. So right now I'm doing a lot of listening and repeating, but then sometimes I'm like, how is that written? Because writing is super important, writing and reading as well. So I found that the app that I was just talking about, Mango, also has flashcards and things like that. The same lessons I'm listening to are also available to do with flashcards, like memory game. And so that's been helping me a lot. So to recap, when it comes to language learning, in the beginning, 1, know your why. 2, have a positive mindset. 3, start using apps and things that you like. And I would say the last thing I would like to touch on is just having a goal. So knowing your goal is also important because then you have something to work towards. So for me, I plan to study Turkish for 3 years, which sounds like a long time. Maybe I'll arrive at the 2-year mark and feel like I'm ready for another language. Maybe not, but I'm giving myself a longer amount of time. And then I'm saying I want to get to a level where I feel comfortable going live in Turkish on Instagram and with a native person from Turkey. And then I think breaking that down into small goals is I'm doing at least 30 minutes, but I'm really aiming for 1 hour a day. And my study is concentrated, focused study. So it's not like I'm doing something else, coming back. No, it's like all in a row, really focusing and engaging and making it quality study time. So those are the things I'm doing. Those would be my tips for beginners, beginning to learn any language. It's possible, you can do it. There may have been things I forgot to mention or didn't mention, and so please let me know in the comments your thoughts and what you do when you start learning a language and any applications that you use as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next week. Ciao, ciao.